2018. Where do I even start? You were an enigma of a year. The best and worst of times. The most fulfilling and the most empty. Let's go back to the beginning. Honestly, the first couple of months were such a blur. There's not much I can remember outside of my online footprint. I think I was still a little bit lost, reeling from the fact that a whole year had gone by in this new life and I still had no idea what I was doing. But I was also just so excited for the big Asia trip in March. I got to leave this continent for the very first time and explore a different part of the world with some amazing people. Hong Kong made me feel more connected to my Chinese roots. Seoul was like a giant playground. And Tokyo? I'm still trying to make sense of Tokyo, and I mean that in the best way. It felt good to experience new things again, and this trip was life-changing in so many ways. After I came back, though, reality had set in. Asia was so fun, but it started to feel like it was a distraction. I felt lost all over again. I felt guilty, undeserving, sad, alone, and numb all at the same time. On top of that, jet lag got the best of me and amplified all these feelings. I couldn't sleep for weeks and had no choice but to stay up and wrestle with my thoughts and emotions. This came to be the most difficult time of my life. I had to face some harsh realities on just about everything. I realized I lost bits and pieces of myself in the last year and a half, and I didn't know who I was anymore. I don't know how long I felt stuck in this moment, but eventually, I found my way out, and what was once the most difficult time of my life became the biggest blessing in disguise, because I started to live again. And this time I was truly living for me. I stopped telling myself I wasn't good enough and started to believe in myself instead. I embraced my Chinese American heritage more than I ever did before, and I finally learned to love my monolids. I always loved makeup, but it intimidated me. This time, I pushed myself out of my comfort zone and just decided to have fun with it. I was finally coming out of my shell, and it made me so happy to see people enjoying the looks I created. Your support meant and means so much to me. You have no idea how much confidence you helped instill in me, and since then, I've been able to do things I only dreamt of. I was filled with so much self-hate and self-doubt this year, but I really had to learn to love myself. I finally understood why that's so important and how it can change everything. I rediscovered who I was and the things I loved. I learned how to take care of myself and how to put me first. I have to accept me for me, and that includes the good parts and the not so good parts. And I'm so grateful for the friends who loved me when I couldn't love myself, when I was at my worst. For the friends who emotionally cradled me and held me together when I felt like I was falling apart. The friends who reminded me that it's okay to make mistakes and have flaws, as long as I'm constantly learning and growing from them. They showed me all my good parts when I could only see the bad. They reminded me to have fun, and I have so many amazing memories with them. I'll always cherish the late nights, the long talks, the bottles of soju, fried chicken, day trips, inside jokes, FaceTimes, doggy playdates, just experiencing life together. I have some pretty magical people in my life, and I hope they know it. In September, I went to Paris, and I got to go with someone who's honestly become one of my closest friends this year. It was a special and eye-opening trip. I'd been dreaming of going to Paris since I was a little girl, and it was everything I imagined it would be and more. Paris taught me to dream again, to have hopes and to want more for myself, to never settle and to appreciate life. I left feeling revived and inspired. With family, it's always complicated, and it's been tough, but I love my family so much. My parents might never understand what I'm doing, but that's okay. They support me in their own ways, and I'm just happy they let me live my own life. They gave up so much to build a home for me and my siblings, and I'm so grateful for that home. Having refuge is so important. I always go back when I need a little break. This year, I really understood, no matter what happens, I'll always have family. So, to sum it all up, 2018 was hard, but I thank God every day for the lessons I had to learn, for the growth, for all the love that I felt from others, but most importantly, the love that I needed for myself. I feel happier, stronger, empowered, grateful, loved. I have no idea what's in store for 2019, but I'm so ready and excited to take it on. Thank you so much for being here with me.